you again.
Nice to see you again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Okay. We'll just get down to it.
I believe so, yeah.
Do we want to talk first about use?
Okay.
Okay. So we would like uses reasonably related to all uses reasonably related to operation of a major department store, including but not limited to clothes, shoes, furniture, makeup, all uses that just relate to a major department store.
Okay.
That type of thing. We'd also like a radius clause, so no shopping centers within 40 miles, 40 to 50 miles. It's like a thing.
Of the mall?
Yeah, so you're a developer,
Right.
and so I looked up common contracts.
Okay.
So that's usually a radius clause is put in there under use with no shopping centers within like 50 miles is normal.
You mean like other shopping mall?
Yeah, other shopping malls, like huge shopping centers, which would make sense for you to build another huge shopping center right next to us.
Yeah, I don't think that would make sense at all. Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't think I ever have I seen that. Usually other shopping centers.
They're at least an hour drive away.
But malls, yeah, usually it's just like, because I mean, you don't want to jeopardize your own revenue, that's for sure. So,
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put that down as something. I just looked at different contracts, and that's something that it had under use. That seemed pretty normal and fair for both of us.
And that turns out to be the same for you, so you can't really go with another major developer and actually
Because
bring
we don't
another
want.
shopping center. So, except in your clause, make sure you clarify that. I mean, we'll read the contract together
We'll write
and
it together.
edit, yeah.
But I
Edit
just thought it was a
them.
good thing to add.
Definitely.
And you agree that we should be able to have all uses reasonably related to the operation of a major department store?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So what can't do? Like what do you not want us to be able to, like what products do you not want?
Well, in terms of products, you can bring any products that is actually reasonable, attractive to your brain, and as long as the product will bring other traffic to the other stores that we have, so that's fine with me. But in terms of, so were you talking only about the products in this?
This is like clothes, shoes,
Sure,
all
sure.
that stuff. So
Right, right.
all uses, like those types of things, reasonably related to the operation of a major department I'm just writing it down on a clean sheet so then we can type it up and
Right.
send it to each other to edit as we see fit. 'Cause this is also 2 pages of stuff. You know, we need what
Right.
we're aiming for. So okay, I'll just because I can type it up and then send to you for edits.
Definitely.
Okay. So what is your, what's your concern? Because now I can talk about it.
Okay, so my concern is in terms of the control percentage of the space, the use space of the total list. So,
So that's I think that's more like subletting. But are you
I'm talking about the use. The control. I need to have control of the tenant space. Like, that's part of the use.
okay?
Although they all related,
They're all related.
They
I guess
all going back to the same thing. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, they
we'll just
all-
talk about certain points. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean they are so all related.
They,
So so go ahead. I'm sorry.
so I need to contain like a percentage of the space that although I know you are planning on listing it, but at the end of the day, I need to remain the control of part of the space. So.
Okay, so I don't understand why you need control of something that you're leasing to me because this is like if you rented me a house and then saying you need part of the house to use for your own.
But this has nothing to do with a house. This is a mall.
Yeah, no, it's a mall, but you're
It's a
leasing
mall.
it to me and I'm
Right.
paying you.
You paying me, but I still need to remain to have control of the mall. What if you go bankruptcy? What if not all the products that you're bringing in line are? I still need to have control of part of those lists in order to control what's happening, in order to maintain the mall for the demographic people who are coming in. So because I can't imagine whatever department store that you have or you actually attract is gonna serve the whole community that I'm aiming for. So I need to have control of part of that.
So what does that control then look like?
Like I said earlier, I believe I would say like 50% of it seems fair, but we can always.
So you need to maintain 50% of my store?
Yeah.
So the way that I see it is that this lease is you're signing a 30-year lease with me, and then I'm paying you 30 years of rent. And no matter what, I will get you that 30 years.
That's what you said.
Okay.
No, but if you go bankrupt, there's no guarantee.
Let me tell you, if I go bankrupt, I will assign that lease.
What if
And
you
still-
will assign the lease? What if the lease that you assign is not meeting the needs and the demands of the demographic of the people in the community? So,
That's okay. And so that's
no,
okay.
that's not okay.
No, I know what you meant, but
Right.
it's okay because what we can do is then talk about assignment. If I go bankrupt, I will have to get you that money no matter what. Okay? I will find another anchor tenant for you, like we had discussed about.
But I already have many other tenants, anchor tenants, who are willing to negotiate rent with me. So, at this point now, best decision that would be best for us, it will be your ability to control the percentage of that lease, and me, I remain some control of
Okay,
I
I'm getting
maintain.
confused about the.
that. I maintain the percentage of control of that.
So if we do, let's say, an event that we go bankrupt, we would again bring you people that you can
You're going bankrupt,
assign to.
right? You're going bankrupt, which means your company is going out of business, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think in terms of well, the question should be why will I give a company that's going bankrupt, right, the full control of bringing other um, business to my mall, because if you could do it well for yourself, why would you be going bankrupt to begin with?
Okay, this is so unlikely that we will, but what if we did? We'd find another store that has similar crating and a similar credit and use that we had.
But
That you
think
could
about it,
approve.
like I said again, why will I want to give you the full control of that when you're not doing well to begin with? So those are the things that I wanna make sure um, we can both, protect ourselves from. So,
Right, but no matter what, you're getting money from us. No matter what.
but think about it. No matter what, I'm getting money from you. But what is the anchor tenants? What if you bring in other tenants that's gonna go bankrupt like in the next couple of days? While I could have bring like a great department store that will be there for the next 20 years, in my best interest and in the best interest of the demographic of the community that they're serving. So
You just want to have some say in the assignment in the event of a bankruptcy.
at the same time, I also need control of the use of the space. It's either by, in terms of the people, definitely I need that. I need to have control of who you're gonna bring in and the remainder of the stores. And in terms of like the space, of course, I'm listening to you, and that portion of it, you can always get compensated for that. Actually, at whichever, I mean, we can negotiate on some of the term and compensation, but at the end of the day, I need to remain in control of that because I can't give you full control of a mall, which is like a serious community by yourself. And like I
But
said,
it's not full control of the mall. This is
Right.
full control of the store, which you're paying. Like we're paying you.
right, but I can't give you 100% control of the use. And we need, I mean, to me, that's the number one thing we need to focus on. So, in terms of the space, we need to focus on the percentage of the space that you will occupy, and the remainder that will be in my full control, and then we can go from there.
Okay, so everything that I looked up, that's ridiculous.
Okay.
Okay, every contract that I had, that whole thing is like so not even discussed because we are the anchor tenant
Mm-hmm.
and we are bringing people to the mall and we're still paying you. So it's like you shouldn't even be super involved in that. Like we can check with you on a few things, but most
But
contracts.
I think if you're looking at other contracts, it's not fair to do that because this is a different contract and it's.
But this is done all the time. Like this is such a normal thing that's happened all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We also, if you go ahead and try to, find another anchor tenant, that will give you that much control because that's just not a normal thing to agree to.
Okay. So why don't we just stop and talk to Professor Starner on Monday?
Okay,
Will
I
that
mean,
work?
we can talk to him, but I don't know. I mean, is this, did he say we have to make a negotiation on this?
What do you mean?
Do we have to agree
Yeah,
on
we
it?
have to agree on something.
Okay,
And
because,
according to him, it has to be a win-win contract.
right, no, I understand that. We can talk about subletting, but like, the assignment, and for all uses, I guess I'm not totally, I'm just like blending them all, and I know that they're all connected, but there is nothing in any of the contracts where the developer has a say in what we do, unless it's like over, like subleasing
But the
25,000.
other contracts have nothing to do with this specific contract, did I?
But it's a normal. This is a normal exchange.
It is a normal exchange, but are those being used for the purpose of education, or do they expect the same outcome on that one? I think those are the things you have to look. Because I mean, like you said, you can go online and see that, but are you expecting the same outcome in both of them, or is the key point like?
Okay, just think about it. Like if you were in my position and you said, and I told you, you can rent this space for me, and I
Right.
need control of it.
Right. But at the
That's
end of
like-
the day, I said I'll compensate you for the remainder of that leasing space. Did you see that in the case, right?
So
If
then,
we do agree, whatever we agree on, then I'll give you compensation. Because, like you said, I do know for sure that you're listening for me, and you're paying me. So why would you be not? What would you not? Okay, let's say I have, like you said, I have a house and I lease it to somebody. But at the end of the day, I said there's that little space on this first floor that I need to. I still need that. Oh, even
like
though
a
if I
room.
sell it,
okay, over.
right? And I said that little room in the first floor, I need it for my own business. Do you take the owner, like the person that is just sold it, and said, "Oh yeah, you can't. And at the end, he's like, "Oh yeah, you can have it for free." Is that even possible?
I just,
Like we will come up with an agreement for him to say, "Yeah, you can have that, except how much are you willing to give me, or would you reduce my rent, or would you reduce my lease? There will be a compensation for it. You see what I mean?
okay.
But at the end of the day, I still remain control of that one room that I just either run the whole house to this person. I just sold it to this person, but I still have control over that one room.
Okay, so then if I were already to have, okay, let's say
Mm-hmm.
it was like 10%. Okay, I'm just throwing a number out
Right.
there. 10%. What if I already had my products in there?
Right.
Would I just have to like move things around so you can put something in there? Is that how that would work?
I mean, in terms of the terms on that one, I don't actually need to go into specific detail on that one. And if we do, it will be different. Well, let's say, in terms of specific area that maybe you're not allowed to use, because really I have no idea how that works. But
But then we would get a percentage of the compensation.
right,
We would be okay.
right, definitely.
Okay. So if we
Definitely. Because, I mean, there's no way I would expect you to give me a percentage control of the space and not you just say, "Oh, yeah, you can have it for free." Really? That's just never happened.
okay, because then I need to
You need
use it to help to pay you.
Right.
So I'd probably be using the money that you gave me, percentage, to pay you anyway. So, okay. So 50% I think is a lot.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about something.
I'm thinking more 5 to 10% because
But did they specify? say, because I was gonna say how many square feet is the mall, but whatever. I don't think that's
Um,
relevant at this point.
You're right because it is a little, isn't it? I don't think it gave us numbers, but
No, there was no numbers.
we
But
can do-
that's fine.
we can do square feet though. I think that
No, let's just do a percentage because we don't know how much. Like,
Okay.
let's say if we're between 16 to 20% of the space remain in my control, and then in terms of compensation, I don't know, we'll work something out.
okay. So I'll put 15%.
Of the square feet of the space.
Of square feet developer can use in an event. I'll write it nicer. We'll just say Summit get compensation.
And then that's where we need to become very creative in terms of the compensation. Is it a reduction in your list? Is it
I'm
I
not sure
pay
where-
you money? I don't know.
I think we have to come up with some sort of percentage or flat fixed rate, only because if we, I don't want to negotiate rent because it's like not,
Right.
which I totally
Right.
would have
Right.
done, but
Right.
okay. Okay, and then so
Because I mean, it's really hard to come up with a number at this point because throughout the whole case, there's no specific numbers. So I don't think it
except
would
for
be
30
fair.
years.
Right. I don't think it would be fair for us to come up with a number, dollar amount.
No, it would be either a percentage of revenue or a fixed rate. Although I have no frame of
Oh,
reference.
maybe a percentage reduction on something.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will not be specific with dollar amount at all.
Okay. So well, I'll just put percent.
Right.
Um,
Percent is probably the best thing for us to
percent.
go with. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I also want to make sure that there's sufficient parking space.
Sure.
Right. But I mean, for our store, because what if I mean the parking lot's over on the other end? They have to walk through the entire mall to get to us. We just want to make sure.
Right. And at the end of the day, that's relevant to both sides
Yeah.
because I want you to have as many parking spots as you want because if your customers coming in and they're
Well,
not
they're not
happy
gonna-
with this parking spot, of course they're not coming
Yeah.
back. And then less traffic for us, less revenue for us.
Yeah, and I'd also like to be able to use some of the use in the store for storage. So when we can bring in new shipments for new products. So storage and trash removal.
Okay.
And that way we can just operate normally.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about now exclusivity under use? We have specific brands that we have, and so I'd love it if the satellite tenants did not sell our specific brands. You know, like Kate Spade purses, because they're nice, and if the next store is selling them, then there's not gonna have any reason to come to our store. So maybe if we have exclusivity over our top 50 brands. How would that work? I'm not even sure how you would work.
we can certainly work on that, but I mean, maybe in terms of exclusivity, like you can have your own brand over here, and on the other side of the mall, I can bring my anchor stores, you know. But I mean, I know for sure, if they not as far, I mean, as close as to your store, I don't think that's a big deal. But as long as they are not, the proximity is not too close to you, I guess that would be the best solution for both of us.
But what if they have a sale? You know, like what if Kate Spade has a 20% off sale? Like, if, let's say the Kate Spade store is on the other side, and we have.
I think that's the best I can do. The proximity will be the best thing I can do because in terms of the products, to be honest with you, I've seen it in stores and I'm like, okay, well, if it happened, that's mean there's no solution on that one. Maybe the proximity is the best thing I can do. Maybe they can come like in terms of 20 feet too close to you, but in terms of exclusivity,
Well, what if we have proximity and they can't reduce prices to?
I don't think we can go that far in terms of telling them what percentage I can have. I don't know. We can ask the professor, but I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the proximity, I think it's the best. In terms of my expertise, it seems like that's the best thing I can do for you.
Well, because the satellite tenants may not love that we have the brands either, and they might request exclusivity.
Yeah, you're a department store.
No, but the satellite tenants.
Right. Well, they and you are probably my larger or my number one leaser. So who cares about what they think? To be honest with you.
Okay. So.
I mean, the only best thing I can do, maybe I will say like 200 feet away from you. We can bring like an anchor store that carry your same top brands.
250 feet is like not.
Yeah, I really don't know in terms of meters
Okay,
how far is that, but I know for sure like you can go to Macy's right there, and then probably on the other side of the store you probably will find another store that's selling probably the same brand name. But you see what I mean? But I really don't know in terms of
Well, like,
mean.
have you been to the Native Mall before?
Right.
So they have Under Armour store.
Right.
No one else sells Under Armour because of that store is there. I know there are a few brands that are definitely like.
Macy's sell Under Armour.
They sell Under Armour.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think all the department stores they do sell just like Michael Kors. Okay, Michael Kors is like, but if you go to either Copley Mall or something, they will have a specific Michael Kors, and then all those other stores like the department store they carry Michael Kors, except it doesn't seem like they're like right in front of either is it Bloomingdale, the one at Copley Nordstrom. It's not right under Nordstrom, but they do carry the brand. You see what I mean?
Okay. So we'll say top brand.
Except I think that's what I said. It's probably the only thing I can do. It's
The proximity.
And I think in that terms, it's good for both of us because I mean, some people enter the store on this side, some people enter the mall on that side. So if they find you first, that will be go. Sorry, with your brand, and then if they go to the other store first, they'll go. And then a lot of time, people who are conscious shopper, what they'll do, they'll go in both store and differentiate which is better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say in terms of your own upsell strategy is just to pay attention to what the other stores do. And I can guarantee you that's what they do.
Okay. Um, okay. Um, okay, so assignment. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything in use. Did we miss anything?
No, it doesn't seem like it's you know, the problem, I feel like, not the problem, it seems like it's like all three are just related. I feel like sometimes
It's
it's
confusing.
so repeat. Yeah, it's like,
It's
okay,
the same
right.
type of thing. I know that there's nuances,
Right.
but okay. So assignment. So um, this is dealing with the lease
Mm-hmm.
and subleases.
Right.
So this is just pretty much us making sure we get you the money. And and we want to be able to sublease or lease if we have to in the event of something.
Right.
So so if we can sublease sounds a lot like sublet, but I know it's different. Sublease. So if we can
So are we talking about the assignment now? Also.
Assignment.
Okay.
Yeah. So under assignment.
So it seemed like under assignment the years are very important. So we really want to make sure we focus on that.
Yeah, because it's a 30-year lease.
Right.
So if we're not doing as well as we would have liked, we'll probably sublease part of the. And it's different than the sublet. We just want to make sure that we can, like I think we had already discussed this. If we present two companies the same credit and use, and present them to you, and you agree not to unreasonably withhold consent.
And then I will reserve the right to take back some of the rental space, and then again compensate you for it if I don't agree with your anchor wherever you subletting it to. So I still need to have that right remains to me.
So subletting is a little different. Subletting is more like
No, that's assignment. I'm thinking about the assignment.
let's just talk about terms for a sec. So subleasing and leasing are under assignment, and that is like we are giving it to another related use company to lease from us. Subletting are these departments, like our departments within, which I think are much smaller, like smaller
Right.
subletting. I'm explaining it more for me than even
Right,
for
right,
you.
right.
So, in the case of bankruptcy or downturn economy or something,
Sorry.
It's okay. Would like to obviously assign the lease
Okay.
so that we can pay you.
Okay.
Right.
Yes. So personally, in terms of the assignment, what matters to me the most is how many years we want this contract to go on. And then let's say I agree 10 years, right? Here's the 10 years. Here's a 10 years contract, or maybe 7 years. And then thereafter that, what happened? If you guys are still doing well, those are some of and then you still have it. And if not, what are the options from there? Do I bring my own anchor, or do I let you bring your own anchor?
Well, or you can introduce us to one and we can work it out, right?
We work it out.
Right.
Yes.
So, what if we did 6 5-year, 5-year,
5 to 7. Oh, 5 to 7.
you actually wanted a shorter one.
Yeah.
3 to 5.
7. Yeah.
So if we both had 5 in common.
Right.
So if we had 6, if I had 6 5-year options and an option to renew. So like 5 years, see how we're doing.
Right.
Discuss it, option
Right.
to renew,
Right.
and work out that way.
Right.
Okay, that's good. You agree with that?
Definitely.
And you agree to not unreasonably withhold consent if I've shown you.
Definitely not. Because if there's stories, then if there's stories on our both interests, best interests, why should I disagree with that? You see what I mean?
Yeah. And so 6 5-year
So after that, we'll have
contracts and then option to renew.
option to renew based on those based on agreement between both sides, right?
Yes.
Mutual agreement.
Also, if this company gets acquired, which often happens,
Mm-hmm.
gets acquired or acquires, I don't think in that event we don't think that we would need your consent because it's something that the company is acquiring anyway.
Oh, I don't get that one.
Hmm?
I don't get it.
You don't understand?
No.
Okay. So like if Summit were acquired by Macy's,
Mm-hmm.
we would just have to pretty much be Macy's because we just got it acquired. Or if let's say we acquired Under Armour. We want to be able to bring in some of the Under Armour product without having to go to you first because it's the same company. We just got acquired or acquired someone else.
Okay, but I will want some agreement on that one too, some part in terms of on my say on that one.
So I think we would become Macy's or acquire Under Armour.
But the thing is, at
Regardless.
the end of the day, I didn't have a contract with Macy's.
But we would keep the lease. Like this lease isn't changing. We would keep all the same terms.
Okay, so that
This-
need to
this
be
lease-
clarified.
Sorry. we would keep this lease,
Right.
same terms.
Right. And
But if we got acquired or acquired someone else, we would stay within the terms.
okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, if I acquire, I'm like Nordstrom, and I acquire Macy's, or the other way around, they all want to have a say on my terms. But in this case,
Only if we were renewing after 30 years.
right? I mean, in case there's an acquirement, no, it won't affect our
It wouldn't affect
terms
our
of
terms
agreement. Yeah.
of agreement.
Yes.
We
I
would
agree with
have to
that.
stay within it,
Right.
but we wouldn't have to get your consent. I'm not even sure how that would work because the company's going to get acquired or not without talking to every single mall developer.
No, they have to. I think they have to because there's a big clause in there. Oh yeah, they have to.
They have to talk to
Oh,
each
yeah.
developer.
They I mean, think about it. They have to. They really have to because what if the acquirement is a reduction in stores because a lot of time after the store is acquired they
Yeah.
have to consolidate or sometimes they have to expand. Depends. So I'm sure there's a lot of stay. But for the purpose of this agreement, we might say our terms remain the same because we really don't know what's happening.
Okay, we're acquired or two.
Acquire. In terms of the space used, everything still remains the same.
Maintain the same lease.
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
good wording?
Yes, it is. Because let's say if you acquire, so you probably want to have more space. But at this point now, because we said no, so everything it's within the same. So you probably will find out.
Okay. Maintain lease contract.
Right.
Okay. So can we sublease? I mean, we would like to be able to sublease, or at least have the option of subleasing, and not just assigning the space, like we did, like to be able to.
In subleasing, you are talking about the subletting
It's so
section. or-
confusing. Because
I mean, we'll have a lot of questions for him on Monday.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I think subleasing is different than subletting.
Yes.
To my understanding, subleasing is much larger than subletting. And subleasing is with,
But look at the first sentence on the subletting. I think they might mean the same thing.
what page?
Page 4.
I don't even know why I said that. I don't even
Under subletting.
Got it. Okay, hold on. Maybe I was getting too detailed in subleasing. Okay, let's just talk about subletting. That seems to be pretty similar. We'd like to be able to sublet 70 to 75%.
No, that's too high. Why would you want to do that to
We just want the option.
me? Well,
Well, because of the departments.
no. I mean, you really want to give like a cosmetic store like.
So we have makeup, perfume.
But do you know those? It's only like a little what is it? What do they call those? Oh my god, a little cart. Usually that's what they are, a little cart. So why would I want to give you the whole 70% of the space to just hand it out to cart?
I'm not saying you use all the space.
But no, it's
No,
not gonna
okay.
happen. 70%, no.
Okay, what
Maybe
are you
like
thinking?
maybe between like 10 and 15%.
No way. You had originally said 60%.
No, when I said 50 to 65, I want to retain that much. Remember that?
But that's it's 50 to 60% of subletting.
No, I guess you may have get that wrong. I want to control that much.
Okay. Well, I think that because a lot
But
of
think about it. You're a big department store. Why would you want to give that much to subletting? You see, that's why I should control the whole time because
no, but most of those departments within the department store, which are our money makers, are subletted. So when we have our cafe that people like, that's subletted. When we have our perfume counter, that's all subletted. And they're like special contracts that we have within the company, and that's kind of like what a department store is. That's why.
because it seemed like
Because that won't affect your,
no, it won't. But I'm
and will make more money to assure that you'll get that money.
well in terms of the space on that one again. I really wanna control like some of it, and
Aren't you already controlling?
oh yeah, it's going all over the place. Huh? Yeah,
You're
well, I
already
mean
controlling
that's
the 15%.
yeah, I want to remain control on that one. And in terms of the stores that you bring in, I want to check the credit. I want to know their background, and I want to know how the quality of the product that they are bringing, and then is it is it beneficial to the demographic of the traffic that I want in the store.
Okay, but
I mean, in the mall.
I know what you meant.
Right.
But we already have. So you've already been to a Summit store, and we have our normal brands and companies that we sublet to. Is this if we want to bring in someone new?
Right. If you want,
So we can maintain.
yes, you can maintain the people that you already have contracts with. Those are the people that I want, that I know about. Like you have, Godiva or Johnston and Murphy shoes. But at the end of the day, I don't want you to bring a totally different new store out of your character, like um, appliances. No, that's not happening. So I want to maintain control of that
Why is that not happening?
because that's not your specialty, that your department store.
But things, I mean,
Things change, but at the end of the day, instead of you giving you the space to have that, I can bring another manufacturer that specializes in those, and then give them a better use of the space, which is better for both of us.
yeah, but it's our store. So what if we did something like space under 5,000 square feet? I can bring someone in without consent, but I can't do that more than 5 times without checking.
5,000 square feet is a lot, or maybe it isn't a lot. I don't know when you're talking about a mall.
I don't think it's a lot for like one of those.
Huge
They're
malls.
huge. They're huge. 5,000 square feet is like nothing.
I'm
So-
talking about my apartment, 400 square feet.
I don't even want to talk about it. If I had,
know.
no, mine's tiny. My room is tiny. So would that be reasonable, that's more that I can.
Let's say even 3,000 square feet for some store is a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
I'm
that's
trying to get an idea
because
of
think
what that
about it,
means.
like because like if you think about it, 3,000 square feet, that's like the average of most houses in Massachusetts. But sometimes it includes 2 floor. But in terms of like 1 floor, that's a lot.
Okay, well, what if we say 4,000 square feet? So
Let's say 3,500.
3,750.
35. Huh?
3,750.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
What do I know about square feet?
But I think that 5,000 is fairly normal, but
Oh, I don't know if it's worth it for me to check that out.
yeah,
Because
you can check it
think
out.
about
We can think about it.
Think about it. Like, do you think like just this whole first floor is 5,000 square feet?
No, it's way smaller.
It's way smaller. Think about it. Why would you want one store in that whole apartment? Just one store or one apartment. That's a lot. Not this room though. I'm talking about the wall. Let's say you break all the walls, and then it's just how many square feet is that? Just the first floor.
We'll stick with 3,750. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like, where would you want that much space for one store? It's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Without.
Or maybe we should go back again and put that in terms of percentage because we don't know. Percentage is for the best way for us to go.
I know. I just because then if it's under that,
Right.
then we don't need consent. But if we do it more than
So let's say we go back. It's like if it's under 2% of the total square feet the of total space, we need consent. If it's over, we don't need consent. I think that's probably the best way for us to go.
okay.
Yeah, because if
So-
we go with numbers, we're just gonna get too confused.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 5% out of 100.
Of the total square feet, I think that's
5%. So if it's under 5%, we
I
don't
don't
need
need-
consent.
yeah, over that we do need consent. We need to check with everyone else, and yeah, because it depends on like, let's say you Macy's, you already have your established total square feet, and yeah. So I think that's fair. If it's under 5,
Yeah.
mutual consent. If
Right,
it's
5 or
over 5,
5 or under. Right.
Five, yeah.
Sticking within that.
right, 5% or under, yeah. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then if it's over that, we need mutual consent.
And if it's over 5% sublet,
Right. You'll need to check with our office and
Need.
pull background check or whatever based on our standards.
but so how? Let's talk about though the subletting. I know we were at an impasse. For percentage of subletting. a lot of our companies sublet it like normal contract anyway. So 65%.
I'm a little bit lost. Sorry.
So I'm thinking. So we want to talk about the percentage that I can sublet my store. But I think that I already have subletted a lot of it because we already talked about that you're okay with my current,
Right.
our current way that we look.
Right.
So if we're currently at 60% and we want to sublet like 5% more, we want to have that
Okay.
room to do 5%.
Okay. So let's say you're at 70% now, and then 30% remain to be.
To sublet.
Yeah.
How is that different than the? Can you just explain how that's different than the 15%?
I think that's the least. Then again, I will clarify that to the professor.
Okay,
Because
because
I
it
feel
sounds
like
like it's the same
it's just
thing.
saying 10, except it's just like. But he did say that though, because I remember when he was talking, he said at the end of the day, they all overlap. It's all overlap, and that's why like the focus really is not in those specific section. It's to actually modify the article 22, and then we get to spell those out. This is what we agree on, but the main purpose of this is to modify Article 22. Because I felt, then he said, remember he said that? If you guys negotiate those specific cases, I think in this one, we're just trying to find like a mature agreement that's going to work for both of us. Because if you think about it, they all overlap. We can clarify that with him on Monday.
Yeah, because
At least we'll be on a good start, so he'll have something to clarify for us. Will be more clear.
yeah, it's confusing.
It is kind of confusing, but
We'll go
I-
to law school literally for this. So okay, so I'm gonna just put a temporary again. Once we
So-
type it up, we can talk
right,
about it.
you can say like you currently, let's say you have 65%.
Yeah.
So under 5%, you don't need me, and then I still remain control of the 30%, and then from there, anything that happens I control that 30%.
But that's jumping from 15 to 30%.
But that's different. That's just specific to subletting.
No, it's not. No, it's just not though.
It
It's
is.
the
Well,
same-
we'll clarify that on Monday then.
Okay.
Yeah.
because you taking control is you taking control.
I know.
Whether you put it under subletting or use, it's the same
Same.
thing.
It doesn't. No. I think it's okay. Let's be a little bit logical. So I have that one, right? You have 50% of it,
of this room.
right? So I have 50% left. That's specifically for the use. Like you can use 50% of it. I still have 50% of it. Within that 50% of yours, I still control subletting and leasing. That's the way I see it.
I'm seeing it as you're using it is you're using it. For whatever purposes, you're still using it. Like that room in the house.
Right.
I'm just trying to make
Right.
sense. So that room in the house, whatever you use it for, you rent it out for, whatever you use, same thing.
Okay, so we'll have to
We'll have to
clarify.
clarify because it
Because
just
I
sounds
feel
like
like-
it's the same thing. 'Cause you can't
You're
just-
right, because I mean now that
You
you go
can't
back,
just have 15
that
or
first-
30.
now you go back to that first example. Yes, you're right. You're right. Because I can do whatever I want. But for me, in this
Because
case,
you can sublet with that 15% too.
right. But that's the thing. Are we negotiate that 15% subleasing, blah blah, blah, and the other one, or is it whatever I still lease to you? I don't know. It's
Can we talk? Well, what we can say is that with that 15%, I think you would have to sublet that 15% if you
Of
were
course,
present
right?
there.
Because it still remain under my control. So those are the
I'm
space
just
that I
saying
need.
because you don't have products yourself, so you'd have to bring someone in.
Yeah. So the remainder of the store is for me to bring in other anchor store that I feel like that's appropriate for the demographic of the mall, which I really want to go on forever. But in terms of the subletting and the subleasing, I still feel like it's part of your space that I still want control over.
But we already talked about your control, that you would still have control over 5% was mutual consent. So like, you would have more control by talking to me
Right.
than just taking.
Definitely. Definitely. So the your space, it's okay. So you rent that whole space, and I still want partial of it. But within that your department, I still want to know who you subleasing it to or your assignment, and I still want to have control over that. That I feel like that's exactly what it is.
But you already have that.
No, because if you think about it, when you look at the store, well, a mall, right? Let's say Macy's actually lease, like the World Mall. So you still see other stores in there, which is the anchor store that I'm allowed to bring in. Those are my anchor stores. I'm probably paying you for agreeing to, although you list it for me, right? Either way, we work out some compensation of bringing those stores in. And at the end of the day, though, bringing those stores is both for me. It's good for both of us because not only they come to the specific store, they go to Macy's and buy perfume, blah blah blah. So it's working for both of us. But in terms of the people that you still have in your Macy's, like and stores of the Macy's that still say Macy's, I still want control of the subleasing. I think that's exactly what it is.
I'm trying to just.
Right. You're trying to, because what if like you bring a coffee store and then the coffee store, the people are not interested in it. I feel like you will still want me to bring another anchor store that you probably feel like it's more appropriate for your customers.
Well, you shouldn't care too much because if something's not going well, we're gonna get rid of it.
Yeah, but I still don't want empty space in the store. In the
We
mall.
wouldn't have empty space.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen empty space. Yeah, so definitely I'm trying to make sure there's no empty space left in
Okay, so that's what
in
your
the
main
mall.
concern about.
That is
Maybe
the
let's put. Okay, so
that is my
instead of you then controlling a percentage, we can make some sort of clause to prevent me from having empty space. Does that make
But
more sense?
it's not in your control though, because let's say if you have a store and customers lost interest in it, how do you manage that?
I assign. We talk. I find new.
But don't you want to leave that to me, who's probably the developer, and it's our expertise on that one?
But it's my responsibility. It's my lease. Like I still have to pay you no matter what happens.
Right, but don't you want to leave that responsibility in terms of who has I feel like in terms of you, it should be like maintaining the best traffic customers to your store. You shouldn't be for then you probably will go bankrupt because you're going to out of your way. I think for me it's better to bring people with better credit who's gonna be around. I study the market, who's gonna be there for the next 5 to 10 years. I think. I'm not saying the department stores, but in terms of those little sublease people, in terms of coffee shop and all those things, it's probably not your area of expertise. So you
It
really
is our area of expertise. We're a department than you do. You're a developer. You're
Yeah,
making
but
a building.
I know, because my expertise is to study the market, the demographic of the market, and find out what they're looking for and bring that in. And by bringing those people in, it's on a best interest. Not only they go to that coffee store, they go and spend money at Summit stores, high end, and yada yada, and then revenue for you. I mean, in terms of my lease will always be up, but it's more revenue for you more than anything because all lease is not gonna change. Think about it. You go and bring.
I guess I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
No. I mean, I'm asking. Okay,
I know you want as much control as possible.
Right.
I get it.
Okay. Let's see. Let's think about it. So you're bringing me because let's be logical here, right? My number one priority is to make sure that my lease is paid. Okay. In your case, downturn economy, upward economy, regardless, I get my lease, right?
You'll get your payment no matter what.
Based on the contract, right?
Based on the contract, you're selling me that contract.
Right. You come over. You said, "Oh, I have that coffee shop, and I think that's what my customers are interested in." You bring it in, right? Okay, that's your space, your control, right? 5 months later, you realize your customer never wanted that coffee shop in the first place, right? But while in my area of expertise, instead of this specific coffee shop, I think they were more interested in Starbucks, right? In terms of Starbucks, not only you're losing your customers and you're also losing people who were interested, but you still own me, right? What if I find an anchor store, right? I'm still gonna get the same lease, right? I have control over it. I still get the same control over the list, and I bring Starbucks instead of your specific coffee shop. I'm still gonna get my lease, but at the end of the day, more revenue for you because not only the Starbucks people were more interested in your department stores, and also they like Starbucks better. At the end of the day, it's a more win for you, win for me also, but at the end of the day, it's a more win for you because you can have that coffee shop when you find out it wasn't your expertise and the people were interested. Now you have to close it for another couple months. But in the couple months, what's happening? I'm still getting my lease.
Okay, I hear you.
Right.
So what if when you find
The anchor store.
and a sort of you mean a satellite?
Yeah, the satellite store.
So if you find a thing like a store or something that you think is fitting, maybe instead of just coming in and doing it, we can have a meeting about
Definitely.
it.
That's what I'm
Because-
looking for. I will not bring something that,
Yeah, because what it sounds like to me is like, well, I know better than you do, so I'm going to bring this in.
And in a way, yes, that is the case.
But you don't know better than
Right. I'm the developer, right? It's like saying in my case, right? Okay, this is my area of expertise, and said, oh, I come to you and said, oh, this shoe store is probably better for you than your department. Instead of me saying, okay, I would love to bring that anchor store here because it probably will bring better traffic. But no, I go to you specifically and said, this shoe store is better for you. Would you take me seriously?
If you show me the market research.
Well, at first I'll be.
I think it has to be a discussion because, like, you can't just bring things in unless it's under that certain percentage of stores. But like, you don't think that we have so many marketing and R&D research? Like, it's our company. We're running our own company. We kind of know what we need, and we're specifically.
But at the end of the day, I feel like
You're building a building.
Yeah, I'm bringing a building, but at the end of the day, before I bring that building in the specific area, I study the market research, right? I do my market research in terms of the demographic, the economic, and all those things. and what are what kind of stores those people are interested in, right? But you're looking at specifically to Summit. Those are my anchor stores, like the little department stores. I feel like this is not my area of expertise. What goes on into your department stores, this is not my area of expertise. In terms of, I feel like I'm more broadly focused than you. You specifically focus in, like, let's say like Macy's. Macy's is focusing on Macy's
Yeah.
customers. Well, the Wall Copley Mall, the developer, right? They said, oh, not only she might be interested in Nordstrom, but she probably will be interested in that fancy French restaurant. So maybe I should have a French restaurant here. You're not thinking about that. Are you thinking about a French restaurant relating to Copley? Probably not.
No, you're right. I'm not.
Right.
But we are keeping in touch with the demographics for our area, for the region, for all of that. So we do have the best interest in staying in business, making the most money, which means more money for you and more traffic.
Right. But at the end of the day, I feel like you still narrowly focusing.
It's a department store. It's very
Right.
not narrow.
Right. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's narrow. It's more narrow. That's why like the more in terms of our agreement is has to be both best interest because let's say okay let
So are we talking? Are we having this discussion? I just want to know
subleasing
that sub
right
leasing.
right I know we kind of like
We
went
kind
off track
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay, because so you can sublease. So right now we have it. So you 15% that you can sublease, sublet, or change the use, with Summit getting some sort of compensation.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we're both good with that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then you can do what you were talking about, and then we can handle our store.
Right.
We also wanted to make sure, not that you would, but that you don't relocate us, because if we're in a certain part of the mall-
Maybe the question is I shouldn't let you solve this at all. I think that's probably the best.
you can't. You're not gonna let us sublease or sublet.
Sublet.
Okay, our whole department store is based on subletting. That's what a department store is. If you take away our subletting, that's our money maker. That's our money. We can't pay you.
Okay, so we'll go back with the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just how department store works.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that was. I think we're done in terms of this. Like,
all about the stuff.
in
unless-
terms of the subletting,
Subletting.
is that any amount that greater than the 5%, it has to be mutual agreement between both of us.
Mhm.
We have to go back and study the store and stuff like that, and then we go from there, right?
Right.
I think that's the best option for
Okay.
both of us.
And I don't have. Do you have anything? What time is it?
It's 12:10, right?
12:10.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that we need to discuss?
It doesn't seem
Oh,
like
I brought up just the portion of relocating. Not that you would relocate us, but I kind of just want it in there that you can't like move us to another part of the mall without telling me. I don't know. It's something that came up
Okay, so we'll agree on that.
that no.
Unless you agree, because at some point you might want to relocate some part of the stores. I don't know if
it wouldn't be a space big enough.
I don't know. We might work on it because I've seen that happen.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that happen where a mall was. It has to be in mutual agreement in both of us because let's say if you find out that most of your customers are coming this side, and then all of a sudden they change, it will be I don't know what happened. Probably something happened in the demographic of the area, and it happened to be that they start moving from this.
So
You
well, we
probably
want the parking lot Sufficient parking on our side
Right.
and no relocating. Okay.
Well, it has to be a mutual agreement for both of us. That's for sure.
Okay. No relocating without a mutual
Mutual discussion and
mutual
agreement.
discussion and agreement.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it will be good for both of us because I've seen it happen where I used
What
to go
store?
which maybe it's the Cambridge Galleria Mall. There was one store, was it Banana Republic?
But they're not an anchor store.
They're not an anchor store, but at the end of the day, it has to be a strategy over that. Because if I know, like, my
I'm
customer,
sure.
yeah, it has to be a better strategy in terms for both of them. Because why would I agree to move to this side of the store if I know my customers are not coming up from that end?
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this looks good.
Right.
I'll type it up and send it to you.
Okay.
And then we can just talk about it. And then we'll ask some questions on Monday because
Yes, we'll need to clarify that on Monday.
because I'm not.
But
quite-
but at the end of the day, I think he said it. He said all three of them are the same.
all three are the same. I don't think.
Right. Well, not overlap, like in terms of overlap.